I told you guys I was going ham for Crazy Hair and Hat Day. I wasn't lying. I hope you're bringing the heat. I want to see pictures of who thinks they can outdo my look. I'm not sure you'll be able to, so. I can't take myself seriously. Okay, I got this. Happy Tuesday. Today is March 24th, 2020. Shortcut date is 3/24/20. For morning work, you had the fractions and number lines. Okay, I got this. You had the fractions and number line problem, and there was nothing on the back, so I hope that you took that time just like we would if we were in the classroom, using that blank piece of paper to practice the spelling words for the week. For math, we have pages 19, 20, and 21 to be completed by today. ELA is 21, 22, and 23. Math Story 8.6. So let's dive in to Be the Sun, Not the Salt. I'm really excited for this lesson because this is something that I haven't read the description, but based on the title, I think that this is something that I really need to work on, and I wonder if you feel the same. Today's lesson is called Release Your Pet Peeves. We all have pet peeves, and a pet peeve is an annoyance that you have that always bothers you. Like, for me, for example, if I have someone come to my house to watch a movie or like hang out and they're wearing jeans, that's a really big pet peeve of mine because I personally think that jeans are uncomfortable. So I wouldn't want to hang out and watch a whole movie in a tight pair of jeans, right? But that's my annoyance. That might not be someone else's annoyance. So you might want to pause the video here and just talk with your parent or parents about what pet peeves you do have, so that as you listen to the lesson, you can see if you can release any of them. We all have pet peeves. It's an unfortunate truth, but we do. If you want to be more heliotropic, get rid of them. Release them into the wild, never to return. The problem with keeping them around is that we feed them and groom them. In essence, nursing our irritation. Remember, the more we practice something, the more automatic it becomes. We basically train our pet peeves to keep us in a state of annoyance and then begin to feel righteous about it. Wow, that's powerful. Don't you hate it when beep bop boop? I can't stand it when they don't beep bop boop. Why don't they? I don't understand why they would do that. Wow, those are things that I feel like I say a lot. I don't know about you, but it's making me realize reading it out loud right now that it's so negative and draining. Being irritated is a way of pouring salt on your own roots while turning yourself into someone bound to pour salt on someone else's roots. Ooh. After all, an irritated person is no fun to be around. That's true. In order to be heliotropic, we have to practice feeding the part of ourselves that does not let ourselves be made miserable by life's littlest hassles. Feeding your pet peeves does the opposite. Even if you love your pet peeves, set them and yourself free. For every minute you remain angry, you give up 60 seconds of peace of mind. Wow, you guys, that might have been my favorite one yet, honestly. That's so true. Like, yes, we all have things that annoy us, but if you keep it as something and you prepare for it to annoy you, then you're just draining energy in that way. So instead, like, release it and let it go. All right, let's go over morning work. It was one problem. It had a fraction up at the top. Nothing was shaded, but I just still interpreted this as 1/2 because it was one whole split down the middle. So the answer is A. I obviously went through and did all of the work for the other number lines as well, counted the spaces in between, and remember that numerator over the denominator, if the digits are the same, that means that it's representing one whole. So I know that in 1/2, the reason I know that is because they both have a total of 2 pieces split down the middle. And I didn't say one piece shaded because it didn't have one piece shaded, so I just wanted to be clear with my language. The back, you should practice your spelling words. Math, I thought, was somewhat challenging, but I also had a lot of fun with it, just because it was a little bit different and it made me use my brain. And I hope that you guys are embracing that a little bit. I know that some of these problems must feel possibly a little bit difficult just because they look different than like a math story or what you're typically used to seeing. But that is what makes you a strong critical thinker, right? When you're ready to look at things that look different, but you're able to be like, okay, what do I know? How can I help myself? So in this question, you should have realized that when they say how many more, that you're looking for the difference. And I looked through all of these and I could see that C has the most and B has the least. 18 minus 10 equals 8 liters. And I jotted what I was solving for as well because every time I have a math story, I treat it as such. I might just be really tired this morning, but let me know if you guys, well, I'll say it when I mention it. Okay. This answer is 6. And then I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong here. Please put in the comments below if I'm just being really tired and not understanding this. But for this question, it was asking, the farmer wants to move the water among the barrels so that each has the same amount in it. How much water will be in each barrel? So as I read that, I was like, okay, so right now in the barrels we have a certain amount total, but they are being kind of dispersed differently, right? Some barrels have more liters than others. So in order to get the same amount in each barrel, we'd have to add the total amount of liquid together, right? And redisperse it, redivide it. So I found the total of the liters, which was 56, and then I divided it by 4, which I got 14. Okay. And I might be really tired this morning, but please tell me, Part D says, the farmer wants to move the water among the barrels so that each has the same amount in it. How much water will there be in each barrel? Isn't that the same exact thing as part C? So I just said same and wrote 14 again. Let me know if you interpreted that differently in the comments below. And then it said how much water should be added or taken from each barrel. So essentially you should go through each barrel and see what you would have to do to get to 14 so that each barrel has 14 in it. 27 I thought was a great question. It's a great review question for us because we're remembering that in order to label a number line, you're counting the spaces in between. So here we know that this is broken up into 6 total pieces, so the whole number would be 6/6. Then I went through and labeled each one and realized the error here was that 3/6 is equivalent to 1/2, not 4/6. So 4/6 is in the wrong place, so your answer is C. And for number 28, 8 groups of 5 equals 40. Because of that, that means that 5 groups of 8 will also equal 40. All right, let's keep trucking along. ELA. ELA was, it was fun. I don't think it was my favorite lesson that we've done so far. I'm kind of miss reading passages. And it looks like we're gonna get to that very soon. Thank goodness. Here are the answers for the camel. This one, originally I skipped because I wasn't 100% sure, so then I did these 3, and then realized that the fact that they store water in their humps is actually just an interesting fact. That's not actually them eating. So it should be number 1 is C, 2 is A, 3 is C, and 4 is B. Question 28 was interesting because it says a student is writing, and I hope that you guys have your workout and you're looking at the same problem as me. A student is writing a report about the history of California. Which source would be most likely to have information for the report? I went through and I honestly slashed the trash for A because I felt like it was too specific. It wasn't really the history of California was just one event, and you can see like that was my reason why it was too specific. But then as I was going through the other answer choices, none of them matched the history of California. So I ended up choosing A because it was the only answer choice that took place in the past in California. And if this is about the history of California, that's the only one that works. So I wasn't fully convinced when I first read it, but it's definitely the best answer out of all four. So your answer is A for 28. Same with 29, you had to be a really close reader. It says underline one sentence, so only one that best expresses the opinion that cats are easy to take care of. So I did read, as I was reading, I did read that they sleep about 14 hours a day, so they don't have energy when they need it. So I was like, oh, that probably means that they're easy to take care of. I was able to infer or make an inference, an educated guess, based on that reading. However, I kept reading, and I ended up underlining or highlighting the line that says they keep themselves clean, and they don't need to be walked. I think that really shows that they're easy to take care of and reflects the author's opinion, because if they clean themselves and they don't need to be walked, I mean, that really implies that they're easy to take care of. Number 30 says the student is writing a research report about turtles. She's looking for information about why turtles are at risk. So essentially each answer choice, I asked myself, does this show that turtles are at risk? Does this show that turtles are at risk? Does this show turtles are at risk? And the only ones that show that turtles are at risk are C and D for number 30. Okay, so for Wednesday, you should be doing page 24, 25, and then 26 is a passage, so I want you to do that as well. If I were you, to be honest, I would probably just hunker down today and finish questions 31 and 32, and then that way on Wednesday, I would be able to start fresh with just reading the passage and answering the questions to the passage. Does that sound good? It's up to you, but it would be a lot of work to wait to do it all on Wednesday. So I would knock out 31 and 32 today if you have the stamina. And last thing is our math story, fruit trucks. I love this question because I felt like it was the first one in a while that's really made me use my brain. I mean, the fraction one did too as well yesterday, but I feel like this one is a little bit more our level than the ones that we did the first week. So essentially, it says 5 trucks arrived at the grocery store. Each truck was carrying 4 large boxes of fruit. The next day, 2 more trucks arrived with the same number of boxes in each truck. How many boxes were delivered in the 2 days? That felt very wordy to me, so of course, obviously, I'm grateful to jot what I'm solving for first. How many were delivered in 2 days? And then I jotted what I knew on the side. Then for my model, I knew that there were 5 trucks on day 1 that each were carrying 4 boxes of fruit, that there were actually 2 days, and that the 2 trucks was on day 2. So as you can see here for my model, I did the model of day 1, 5 trucks with 4 boxes in each, and day 2, 2 trucks with 4 boxes in each, and I did repeated addition, and I got the answer 28. And then for my equation, I did 5 times 4 equals 20, 2 times 4 equals 8, and I got 28. So my answer ultimately was 28 boxes. And then my equation to match the story, I remember that if you do parentheses, that means that those are completed first. So I did 5 groups of 4 plus 2 groups of 4 equals B. And I have 5 groups of 4 representing day 1, 2 groups of 4 representing day 2. 15 minutes, yes. All right, so that is all the work for Tuesday. I hope that if you are someone who just started joining us for these videos, that things are going well. Obviously, continue to reach out to me via email if you guys have questions, or if you have any specific requests about going over a certain skill in tomorrow's video or anything like that. As always, if this is where you've been stopping, you may exit. It was wonderful to see you this morning. I hope that you're wearing crazy hair and or crazy hat. To me, I am so invested in this book now. So we just ended with the mom realizing that Roscoe the rat was in her soup, and she kind of like fainted or maybe died, we don't even know. And Roscoe, remember when he left his daughter and didn't look back, and that was something he really regretted. So this time he did look back and he saw Princess P, and she was not happy, right? She was like, how dare you do that to my mother? So his heart broke. Chapter 22. B puts his heart together, or he puts his heart together again. Look at the way that this H is written. Does not look like a B. Roscoe hurried from the banquet hall. A rat, he said. He put a paw over his heart. I am a rat, and there is no light for rats. There will be no light for me. The king's men were still bent over the queen. The king was still shouting, save her, save her. And the queen was still dead, of course. Oh my gosh. When Roscoe encountered the queen's royal soup spoon lying on the floor. I will have something beautiful, he said aloud. I am a rat, but I will have something beautiful. He picked up the spoon and he put it on his head. Yes, said Roscoe, I will have something beautiful, and I will have revenge. Both things, somehow. There are those hearts, reader, that never mend again, once they are broken. Or if they do mend, they heal themselves in a crooked and lopsided way, as if sewn together by a careless craftsman. Such was the fate of Chiaroscuro. His heart was broken. Picking up the spoon and placing it on his head, speaking of revenge, these things helped him put his heart together again. But it was, alas, put together wrong. Where is the rat? Shouted the king. Find that rat. If you want me, muttered Roscoe as he left the banquet hall, I'll be in the dungeon, in the darkness. Ooh, that was a very short chapter. We shall see if the king finds Roscoe. But I'm sad the queen is dead. What a way to die, seeing a rat in your soup. Let's see, what is tomorrow for Spirit Day? Tomorrow, Wednesday, is School Colors Spirit Day, to represent EA and how much we're missing it. I'm definitely missing you guys. I'm missing East Arbor, so I will definitely be dressing up. Have a great day. And we made it under 20 minutes. Yes!